Welcome to MAFS Madness on So Many Receipts. I'm Fleur Michelle.
And I'm Shelley Seddon. We're journalists, reality show addicts, and obsessed with Married at First Sight.
Bringing you all the tea from MAFS 2026. Let's get stuck in. Shell, welcome back to the pod. Just in time for the final two MAFS weeks. We're in the dying days now. So did you have a nice break?
Yes, well, I was still watching, but I just didn't have to talk about it incessantly. But I now have enough energy to finally crawl over the MAFS finish line.
So it helped you conserve a few more brain cells
Yeah.
for the last bit of commentary. I was actually in Adelaide for a few days and I was so hoping to just casually bump into Beck, Alissa, and Sam. It's a small place, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't. And I was hoping to see Alyssa's car rental billboard at Adelaide Airport, but I think it must be tucked away near some regional gateway out of sight. And I was too embarrassed to ask staff where it was.
I was actually waiting for you to send me a picture of that, I have to
I
say.
couldn't find
I
it.
know. Well, I'm going to Adelaide as well, but not until November to see Robbie Williams with my girlfriends. But we are going to go to Sam's gym, and
Oh,
Beck just said that
yes.
she works out there every day. So I might be some light stalking might be involved.
Man, unfortunately, we're all talking about this week Danny.
And wow, the Team Danny mood has really shifted due to some shocking
Mm.
unseen footage clips that were played on Stan this week.
Yeah, we all saw Danny ranting about Beck after she pissed him off about something, saying he could pick up a better bird in Coles, that only girls who are 15 out of 10 can get away with her behavior, and she's clearly no 15.
I thought this Coles thing was so confusing. I don't like, yes, I'm American. We don't call women birds, but don't like old people call women birds. It was so
Yeah.
confusing. I'm like, and you mentioned in, one of the clips, is he talking about the roast chickens? I actually thought, is he talking about
Did
the roast
you?
chickens? Then there was some tangent about, are Woolies chickens better than Coles
That's
chicken? And it
right.
was just like, it was very confusing.
Well, your husband's British. Has he never said bird in your
No,
presence?
no.
And then Danny also said to camera that MAFS execs are shit at their job for making Beck his wife. He then declared that they should have brought him better women.
What Danny said about Beck in the unseen footage, it was
Mm.
so gross. And he's a pig. He is such an F-boy wannabe. And why does he keep implying that he's the hottest guy in Melbourne?
I know.
Like, I can pull so many chicks. Blah, 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 blah. He is gross. And we actually thought Beck was Delulu this whole time. It is actually Danny who is completely Delulu.
Well, I mean, he's not ugly, but to me, he's just average looking. And to keep going on and on as if he's this woman magnet, even if he's joking, people keep saying over and over, look, you guys don't understand his British sense of humor because, MAFS is now screening in the UK and it's
Yes,
actually
yes.
huge. There are a few episodes behind, it's huge there. And all the British people are jumping into comments saying, you don't understand British humor. He's not that terrible. It's just that the way he says things. But here's the thing, even if he's just joking about being a chick magnet and a lot of things, it just makes him 1,000 times more unappealing.
I just see him as this Guy Ritchie wannabe
Peaky Blinders.
gangster. Peak, yeah, yeah, this inflated sense of self. I know what taking the piss is. I
Mm.
know what British humor is. This guy is just, it's not translating.
Lost in translation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's gross. And Beck has admitted repeatedly that she behaved appallingly at times, but then she goes on the apology tour, but she doesn't make any actual changes to her behavior.
Yes, look, I'm not excusing a lot of the yelling that she's done. And to do it at that final dinner party too, when we all yell at Steph, when we all just needed a break at that point. But anyway, there was more yelling. However, her getting paired with Danny, the longtime skirt chaser, I think he's just been playing her the whole time. I can't help feeling sorry for this woman.
It's bad when we're actually feeling sorry for Beck. And like I said, we thought she was Delulu, but she was being played by Danny, which is disgusting.
We actually had thousands of comments on a video we did about this on our socials, particularly in the So Many Receipts Facebook group. Over
Yeah.
1,300 comments. The tide of public opinion, I feel, is now with Beck because a lot of people were saying sort of the same thing, agreeing with this. Yes, she was behaved terrible at times, but she got a rough deal with Danny.
Yes, justice for Beck.
We then saw in more unseen Stan footage, Danny mouthing off at Steph, which is a weird combo no one saw coming, right?
I don't understand. How does he think this is going to make him look good? He's mic'd up. The cameras are running. The guy is So dumb. He is desperate to be this fake Channing Tatum, like his mate, and be this lady killer. These two are unleashed in Melbourne. These two wingman ladies,
Mm.
please be aware.
Well, like Beck said on Stan, she thought that he thinks his British humor will just kind of carry him through, and a lot of people will forgive a lot of the ills of what he says. And she says, I don't think he ever thought footage like that, mouthing off at me, would ever be shown. But it was. I mean, these maths producers, they're sneaky. Like, don't ever say anything, people. If you're not sure about it, just keep your mouth shut. Now there's this Stan show.
I was gonna say.
Everything is fair game. Maybe in the past you could get away with this because you're like, they're going to run out of time to show this. No, there's now this gatekeeper in Stan.
I think the MVP of the season is the Stan show and unseen footage.
Oh.
Everyone's blood runs cold as soon as they say unseen footage. Watch this clip. The way Danny spoke to Steph in the unseen Stan footage was revolting. He pretends to be this gentleman, but he's so not. First of all, this is the bikini shot Steph sent to him. It's hardly risque.
She's in running shorts. Although I slightly agree with Beck, it was a bit odd of Steph to console her about Danny and call him an a-hole, but then text him as well.
Maybe she was flirting a little, but by that point she was already loved up and seeing a new man.
Danny was furious Steph showed Beck their texts.
Steph then tried to explain, but he called her an effing little skank who wanted more airtime.
What gentlemanly, poetic words. How can he talk to women and about women this way? I kind of like how unbothered she was.
Well, Steph sold a house to a guy named Aaron, and now they're dating. And Beck was making out with farmer Luke at Gia's birthday, but I don't think that's anything serious.
I don't think Danny liked being called a scurvy sea dog C word by Beck at the final dinner party. His rapid eye blink was going off.
What in the Pirates of Caribbean hell was that insult?
Maybe they just bonded over pirate ships and Beck just reached deep into the archives. And incoming, Danny just released this confusing apology video. He brings up his sense of humour, but then says he's not here to make excuses. He was pissed off and lashed out. It was nothing to do with humour.
Sure, most of you hate me. I don't blame you. I hate myself. So join the club. But I just wanted to jump on here and just apologise, obviously, for some of the comments I made, or all of the comments I made on the Stand After Dinner Party show. Horrendous. I'm so ashamed of myself. Obviously, I want to apologise to Steph for the way I spoke about her, and Beck, of course. I'm so sorry to both of you girls. I do have a very dry sense of humour, and sometimes it can come across wrong, especially on TV, especially to people who don't know me. But I'm not here to make excuses or blame it on a sense of humour or anything like that. I'm here to own up to my mistakes and just apologise. Anyone who watched it and found it offensive, I'm so sorry. I've probably got a lot of soul searching to do. I deserve all of the heat I'm getting at the minute.
One of the biggest MAFS mysteries has been solved,
Rachel and Steve did the deed.
but it only happened once, and it was the night after Final Vows.
Rachel revealed this on Abby Chatfield's It's a Lot podcast, saying she didn't want to pressure Steve.
I think that they were feeling all the feels that day, and Steve finally felt safe enough to go for it.
But the next time they saw each other in Melbourne, 2 weeks later, he dumped her. If that doesn't scream, I'm not into you, I don't know what does.
Now that when the time is right, it will happen.
And did it ever happen?
Once. After Final Vows.
One time.
One time, yeah. After Final Vows. And I wasn't sure if it was because it was like filming's done and we had this beautiful romantic day. In those apartments, it does feel a little bit sterile to get intimate, especially when your intimacy is under a microscope, right? I don't know. I think because there was that spotlight on it, it made him shy away from it even more. And so I just had to be patient and remind myself, like, there's more in this relationship than the physicality of it. There is intimacy in other ways.
Plus, he wouldn't even confirm to Rachel if he was even coming to Melbourne, but did confirm plans with Danny to catch up for a beer. Priorities. We also didn't know how Rach could go back to work as a team leader, because surely during meetings, everyone would be thinking, Rachel was finger banged by Steve-O.
Even worse, she says random men now approach her at train stations and yell finger bang at her.
Oh my God. Well, meanwhile, no one's probably yelling finger bang at Steve-O.
No.
Rach is coping the backlash.
So Rachel also revealed an unseen confessions task.
So there is a whole task that's not aired this season. It is the confessions task where we actually write letters to each other. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, which would have actually really helped everyone's understanding around the intimacy insecurities that Stephen has. I just really went from a place of like, I am going to be patient. I will always show him kindness and make sure his needs are met. I want Stephen to be comfortable in this relationship because I never want him to feel pressured to take that step with me when he's not ready. I loved this man and I just wanted to make sure that everything was good for him.
I think there was emotional intimacy, and they were both hoping that chemistry would develop.
But during the kiss me task, he was clear he didn't feel a spark, right? Which is why he didn't want to kiss her. So I wonder if he was pretending to have intimacy issues to avoid hurting her.
I think Rachel's done what we all have done. She fell in love with a man's potential. I've done it. Ladies, don't do it. It's too much of a gamble.
It didn't help that they were talking about having kids with Rachel moving to Sydney either.
Yeah, I think that Rachel will be fine eventually. It's just unfortunate that all of this is played out so publicly.
A wild rumor this week swept the internet for about 12 hours thanks to the Daily Mail that David was dating backup bride Crystal Diaz. However, David then debunked this by going on his Instagram and denying it. He said they only bumped into each other once in Brisbane and took a photo, and we are honestly kind of relieved about that. So a chat with Crystal on Pedestrian TV's podcast Villain Edit recently aired, but not sure when it was taped, because Crystal doesn't exactly sound complimentary about David opting out of the task.
Obviously, him and Bloody Scott had a little bitch and cried in the toilet hugging each other. Guys, like, get up, have a conversation there and do like, no, I just can't do this. Wow, you guys really look like little bitches right now. It was earlier this year I had run into him. He is a very reserved on the show, and poor Alissa just doesn't let him speak. Whereas if he was matched with me, I would let the poor guy speak. Speak your truth. And that's why I was really upset when he walked away, because I'm like, this is your chance to just sit down and have a chat. I have seen David out and he is lovely. You know, he's nice. Sorted out our differences. And I was like, dude, like, you could have just sat down and had a chat with me.
She didn't sound that excited about him.
It's giving meh, but do check out Villain Edit for more of the chat. Plus, they have other great stuff on there too.
She was then asked who she'd like to date, and she named that old shag bandit Danny.
I love confident men, and Danny, oh my God, shout out to Danny. You are amazing. Like, he's so charismatic. He was doing the experiment. Like, sit down, have the conversation, and have a chat. You're not doing anything wrong. And that's what we loved. Like, us girls were just like fangirling. And of course, we're going to hype him up. Like, you are the man, bro. You've got all these around you, and he was loving it. I just think good on him. I would date someone like Danny. Like, if they matched me up with Danny, then 100% I would date him. You know, he's got some balls and he's calm and he's just a good guy. And even throughout the whole season, like, I think he's very true to himself. I'm following Danny. I'm a bit heartbroken he's not followed me back. Danny, hello, let's catch up. We're having a vibe on the tables.
She couldn't stop gushing about him. She is obviously a terrible judge of character. I'm so confused about what David's type is. It's like, is David a rapper? Does he like Kardashians? Is he a Christian? Does he like the, wholesome girl next door who doesn't swear? I don't know, even after 3 months.
And I think this is some of his issue in that I'm not sure he knows who's right for him. I think because of his look, he's like this big, handsome guy. So he's going to attract a certain type of girl, I suppose.
I blame the producers because their edit, Alissa and David's edit, was so cut. We never got to like learn about David as a rapper, David as a person, because he never said anything. Alissa just dominated him. So we didn't get any sense of who David was. It's the producer's fault. This is a bad edit.
He also mentioned in an interview that he said a lot of funny stuff. There was a lot more humor to him. We never saw any of that. It was all just so serious, like being so distraught about Alissa.
David was put on mute the whole season. Let David live. Let him speak.
At least he got the redemption right at the end. It was almost like too little too late. Now
Yeah.
I want to know more about him and we'll never see him again probably.